Hello, my Maple Leaf fans. Welcome to a pregame conference before the game against the St. Louis Blues tomorrow night. Excuse me. And I'm going to take you live to the pregame conference. Talk to you soon.
This is Dave, head of marketing at a ketchup company about to use Grammarly to handle a tight deadline.
The nature of sports is guys get in.
Playing without Morgan in the past, so what do you think is the key of surviving the time that he'll be out?
It's just other guys to step up, obviously, and have more of a presence in the lineup. They're going to be playing more. So, I mean, we've dealt with this stuff like this in the past. Obviously, it's the nature of sports is guys get injured, and other guys got to step in and fill those roles and play. So I'm sure guys are ready to go. And a guy like Laggy, who has kind of been out of the lineup for a little bit, a guy that's been itching to get in. So really good opportunity for him to play some big minutes for us.
Austin, are you guys a little surprised he's doing it in person, given he has no history of anything like this?
A little bit, yeah. But they do their due diligence on all that stuff, and obviously they got to make the decision. But yeah, definitely a little bit surprising.
What do you think of what Greg did, slapping puck in an empty net there?
Yeah, I mean, I think not really. I think it definitely deserved a reaction. Obviously, Morgan's not a malicious player and somebody that's dirty by any means. So I think, him approaching him was something that was just bound to happen. Somebody was going to do it, especially after a play like that. I just don't think it's really necessary to go down there and hard shot competition and into the net. But it is what it is. It's in the past now, and obviously we come out of there with a loss, and our best D-man obviously going to be, who knows how long he's going to be out for, but it is what it is. We got to obviously just pick ourselves up and move forward and put our best foot forward and get ready for our game tomorrow.
Have you ever seen that at any level of competition? The slap shot?
No. Just last week at the All-Star game.
What was your experience like? You didn't have an in-person hearing, but what was it like to go through it for the first time? With players.
It's definitely very eye-opening. Yeah, definitely very eye-opening. Yeah, I mean, in my experience, you have a couple conversations, get on the phone, and it all happens and comes together pretty quick. So, I don't know. It kind of, I felt like my bed was already made when I hopped on that phone. So I'm not sure everybody's situation is going to be a bit different, but I guess we'll see what happens.
Did it affect the way you played after you had one suspension? Like, do you think it had any bearing on you?
No.
What's the key for the team? Obviously 2 or 3 losses out of the break. What can you as a group do better moving forward here?
Yeah, I think a big part of it is just not shooting ourselves in the foot through the course of games. It feels like we're doing a lot of really good things at times, and then doing some very poor things at times. It's obviously costing us goals and costing us games. So it's just finding that consistency and throughout the game and those big moments. Within the game that we just need to be better at and hunker down a little bit.
How encouraging is it to see Joseph, a whole participant in practice again?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I thought he looked really, really good today. I feel like this is kind of the first day we've seen him in a while where he's been in the net the majority of practice. So I thought he looked really good and looks like himself. So that's always a positive sign, and hopefully he's just continuing to take steps forward into being ready to get back into game action. But yeah.
What's the biggest adjustment with Jake at the top of the power play versus
I think just familiarity with Mo, obviously, and but Kaber's been in that position before, and a veteran guy, and he knows what he's doing up there. It's not really rocket science. Just try to keep things simple for the full power play in general for all of us, and try to just attack and give what's given to us, and try to create opportunities out of their structure.
I mean, a guy takes a clap into our net, you gonna go play patty cake with him? Like, no, there's got to be a message sent, and I don't think a push is a message, to be honest with you. So I thought it was appropriate.
What do you think of the potential? An in-person hearing could mean 6 or more games. Do you think that's warranted at all?
No, I don't personally, but I'm not the Department of Player Safety. Like I said before, I was expecting a fine, a 1-game max. The kid got up after he saw, nobody was on top of him anymore. Completely fine, and I think that's got to be taken into account too.
Do you think that, there's a lot of talk about, the unwritten rules of hockey, but you think something for a guy in the NHL that would be something you would just know not to do?
You would hope, but these young kids these days are they're playing a different brand of hockey than I'm used to. The codes changed a little bit, the game's changed a lot, and it's unfortunate that a young kid like that can get away with something like that, and then one of our best players is going to get suspended for it. So, I'd make hockey violent again. Get that tattooed on me.
Have you ever seen that at any level of play? Slapshot game?
I probably have, but the reaction was probably much more severe, and there's probably no penalties handed out, and everybody went on their way and played the next game. I definitely haven't seen it in recent years.
You're not going to play them again this year, but what's something like that will linger? You figure it's going to be in your memory bank or the team's memory bank?
Yeah, hopefully one day I can be on an empty net and I can take a clapper into their net, and then we'll see the repercussions of that, right?
If you had been out there at that time, what would your reaction have been?
Probably have an in-person hearing too. Apparently.
The clapper into the net and Morgan's response.
I'm not going to comment much on it. I want to see what happens with Mo here, but just comment on Mo. I mean, we know what type of guy and player he is, and I'm not going to say much more about the play. I think it's pretty obvious.
How do you survive? It looks like he's going to miss a few games here at least. What's the key to getting by with him out of the lineup, considering what he's meant to the team?
We all got to pick up those minutes. I mean, those are big minutes. He plays in every situation. I keep saying it. He's been really underrated this year across the league. I think offensively, obviously, we all know what he does, but I think in all areas of the game, he's been really good this year. A big part of our team, obviously. So for us, is the 6 guys who play tomorrow, we got to all know that it's not going to be one guy stepping up and playing Mo's role. It's going to be all of us chipping in here and there throughout the game.
How are you feeling after missing the game? You feel like you're good to go tomorrow?
Yeah, no, I felt really good in practice today, and hopefully tomorrow feel the same in the morning and go from there.
Is it wear and tear thing for you, or what's
Again, I'm not going to say anything on like an injury, but feel good. I felt good today, so I'm happy about that. Yeah.
I'm sorry. You have a bunch of games coming up against the West and have played really well against them. What do you think that is this year? Just one of those statistical things?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that I don't know if there's anything to it. I think the style of play across the league is pretty much the same now. Everyone's so quick and plays fast and plays hard. So probably just one of those things. Don't read too much into it, but we'll take it and hopefully it works out in our favor again tomorrow.
You've gotten to know Timothy pretty well. He was telling us the other day he hasn't been happy with his game of late. When he's at his best, what can he bring to this team?
Oh, I think just like he's been playing well. I think sometimes we all do it. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves in different situations and sometimes think that things are worse than they really are. But that's a good trait to have. You're always looking to get better. So he's obviously moves the puck really well, skates really well, and plays physical, a lot more physical than people think. And when he's doing that, everything else comes. He can really shoot it and put it in the net offensively too when he gets chances.
What's the key for the team coming out of the break? 2 of 3 losses here. What can be tightened up? What has to happen to get you guys back to some of the play that you were doing before the break?
Yeah, really, I think it's just all about, you know, when you really look at the breakdowns and stuff, and we're just little areas where defensively we're not on the right side of it or making the right decisions with the puck in certain areas and times of the game. And I think once we get over that hump, I mean, we already are a tough team to beat, but once we get over that hump, it becomes extremely tough to beat us when we don't really beat ourselves.
In general, I know you don't want to speak about the play in specifically, Mark, but in all your years around this game, 20 years plus, do you ever remember something like that happening on an empty net?
A slap shot into an empty net? No, I've never seen it until that one. I mean, I've seen guys put the puck into an empty net after a whistle, right, which is sort of, sometimes it's accidental, sometimes on purpose, but I've never seen that one.
Greg's obviously a young guy. Have you noticed there's a difference in the culture of the young guys coming into this league versus when you started out?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Is that disappointing? Like, where do you think that comes from?
I don't want to honestly. I don't want to comment. I don't want to say something I'm going to regret, but I don't want to comment on it. I think it's a different mentality for sure now.
Okay.
Super Prof led Sarah to Dave, just a guy to turn her into an algebra pro. The result, 95 out of...
Saturday, Greg slap shot into the empty net. Morgan's reaction?
Yeah, I mean, the slap shot is kind of something that I haven't seen happen on empty netter. But, I mean, Morgan's a great team guy, and, I mean, you don't ever see him really step in, pushing boundaries or whatever. But, He's stepped up for our team in that situation, but yeah, I mean, I don't really have much more to say about that.
Why isn't it cool to do that?
I mean, you just gotta put it in, I guess, but I don't know. Just felt unnecessary at the time. I mean, like I said before, I haven't really seen that ever happen, ever.
Are you surprised he's getting an in-person hearing, which means it'll be a pretty stiff suspension?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Mo has ever done anything dangerous or I mean before, so what does he have, like three penalties this year or something? So yeah, it is what it is.
What message does Morgan's reaction send maybe to your group and to the rest of the league as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, I think set a bar that we're there to battle every night, and I mean we don't want to make it easy, so make it hard for guys they're gonna have to make it hard for them to beat us.
Where does this leave the Battle of Ontario? Will this be a game you circle next season when you see it on the schedule?
That was the last game against those guys? Yeah, I mean, whatever. When we play them, Like, I'm not really too worried about it.
Okay. What's the key to survive without him in the lineup? Morgan's been so good this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's been on fire, obviously. Incredible season. I mean, we have a pretty resilient group, I feel like. So, I mean, when guys have been out, I mean, other guys have stepped up and played, took over that role. And, I mean, been able to try to not take his spot, but, I mean, help the team and build around that when he's gone. So, hopefully we'll be good at that.
You know Timothy pretty well. We spoke to him a couple days ago. He wasn't happy with where his game was at. When he's at his best, what can he bring to this group?
Lilligren, yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, sometimes you just get in a little rut of not playing your best. I mean, when he's moving and skating out there, I mean, shutting down plays and breaking us out and generating offense. I mean, that's when he's at the top of his game. And, I mean, we're as a team got to help each other play our best hockey. So, I mean, it's all on everybody.
Joe Woll was back out there with you guys. How did he look?
Sorry?
Joe Woll was back out there, regular practice. How did he look?
Yeah, he looked great as always. Luckily, I scored on him, though.
Again, having an in-person hearing.
Surprised. Just given, we spent a lot of time watching pretty much every cross-check that's happened in the last number of years, and the
ones that I thought were similar in nature to Morgan were nothing close to requiring that. But at the same time, you know, I think there's a history also of events that happen in Toronto and with the Leafs that get more attention, more hype, that tend to lead to something such as this. So to that end, not surprised, but you know, it's out of our hands, and we'll be ready to play tomorrow.
What are you hoping that they will take into consideration based on what you know of Morgan over the years?
Well, I mean, I think it goes without saying the type of player Morgan is. I mean, I think just a couple of weeks ago, I think we were talking about him winning the Lady Byng and competing for that. So he's a pretty exemplary guy, and not just on our team, but in the league in terms of how he conducts himself and how he plays a good, hard-on-his game, but is very respectful and I think admired by his teammates and the opposition because of how he conducts himself. So I think because of that, you know what his intentions are going to react to a situation like that, and it's not to be malicious by any means, but it's to do his part to show that you didn't like what happened, and that's it.
When there is a hearing, what's your role as a coach in preparing for that, if any? Like, how involved are you? I'm thinking like even the Spezza one.
Yeah, I have zero involvement in that. Like you say, we have been through a number of ones in the past. Seems like we've had to prepare for it more so than anybody else in the league, perhaps. But my involvement is not zero. My role is to get ready for St. Louis.
Do you think the league is going to try and make an example of Riley?
That's not for me to answer. That's for them to answer.
Do you think the judgment's worth on players here just because of the number of us here, or because of the Leafs themselves?
Again, it's not for me to answer. That's a question for others.
Why have you gone with Liljegren up there with Brody and his formation in Morgan's absence?
Yeah, I just got to go through and look at different options. It's a chance for us to get Brody playing on his left side. So I suspect when you lose a player with Morgan and his minutes and the role that he plays, everybody's gonna have to move around and play in different spots, and play with different people depending on the situation, and to manage the minutes and such. But like anytime you have somebody out with an injury or whatever the case may be, you expect your team game to tighten up that much more, and the individuals to step up and take advantage of the opportunity.
So what do you want to see from Tim Sheldon in that case? Then obviously the tightening up, like you're saying, on the forwards to be a big part of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying with the team game. Everybody just playing a little bit better, a little bit tighter, a little more consistent. All the things that we've been talking about. We've managed these types of situations when players have left our lineup in the past. Past number of years. Morgan left last year with an injury, and we thought, oh, this is not good. And then we played our best hockey as a team and went on our best stretch. And this year already we lost Austin unexpectedly for a game, and it's a bit of a downer going into the game, and it turns out to be one of our most dominant performances of the season. And you never know how these things go, but in the past our group has stepped up, and we'll require more of the same.
Joe Wall back at practice today for the first time. Where's his status at now that he's been able to take this step?
Yeah, today was an important step just to get him more reps and to have his own net. That's why Jones got some work in prior to practice and a little bit while we were getting going there on his own outside of the practice session itself. But getting Joe tested a little bit more today, and looks like he got through it well. But I haven't talked to him more than medical people, and we'll chart his path going forward. But today was a good step.
What do you want to see from Liljegren in particular with his top of the line role?
Yeah, just Lily's played in this spot before. He's played in these situations. He's played well for us. And just accept it. Know that you're going to be needed. Go do a job and play as he's capable of it. Lily's a lot like a lot of other areas of our game. He's played some good hockey for us. At times there's some mistakes or this or that or whatever it might be, but he's played well for us, and I expect he'll do the same. I think anytime all of a sudden you're needed that much more, you think that much less, and you just go out and play. Sometimes that can be beneficial to a player too.
Any update on Timmins?
No update. He's got an appointment today that's going to kind of help chart the course for him. He's still not feeling well, and he's going to be out. He's going to be out for sure for tomorrow. Not available, and we'll have more for you after his appointment today. We'll got to see how they wake up tomorrow and how they're doing and feeling, but. In Gio's case, it was more so whether he could just get his skate on and feel good out there, which he said he did. In fact, felt better with the skate on than off, so that's encouraging. And Camp seems like he's good. It's just a matter of making sure that things don't tighten up or get worse for him tomorrow.
What's your sense of how Morgan's reacting? We saw you had a bit of a chat with him before practice. He's a heart and soul guy. He doesn't want to be out. Like, what's your sense of how he's dealing with all this?
I think he's he's handling it well. I think he's disappointed that he's got to, go for hearing and such, whatever. But that's, he recognizes that's kind of the way things go. But again, I think, Morgan just made it clear that he had no intention of the way that it looked or the way that it played out. But he's going over there to just make a point that he's not just going to let it go away, and that's what I would expect any of our players to do, and that's what I expect our opponent to do if we did something similar. It's just sort of the way that it goes. But I think Morgan's good with it. He'll go and plead his case and see how it goes.
When you get your next big idea, say sparkly ketchup, Grammarly's tone suggestions can help pitch it with confidence to get your team on board.
Did you see her email?
Already calling vendors.
Oh no, a project hiccup.
We need a squeezy bottle.
Good idea. With a more diplomatic approach, your request will get a better response. Problem solved. Grammarly can make all the difference in your professional success. Click the blue button to download Grammarly today.